Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. As my lessons begin to look at ABRSM Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory, I move on to the first chapter to explain the topics of breves and breve rests. These are notes that we don't see so very often in music today. We look at the topic of double dotted notes, where a note is extended and then extended again, and we also look at the topic of duplets. The full lesson can be found on my Patreon channel. If you visit patreon.com/Sharon Bill, you'll find the full lesson there. The links to that can be found in the cards and in the description box below. After this short video, you'll find sample examples of this lesson to show you how I work with you step by step through every single exercise, just as if I were sitting right next to you. And once you feel that you're ready to take your ABRSM Grade 4 Music Theory exam, I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to be best prepared for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time when you're actually taking the exam. This book is available as an ebook or in paperback format, and it's available from Amazon. You can find the links for that in the cards and in the description box below. All the information that you require can also be found on my website. If you visit www.sharonbill.com, you'll find everything you need right there. Enjoy your studies. Bye. And so here we have a breve. It looks like a semi-breve, but with two little lines either side. And it's worth two semi-breves. And then that sort of makes more sense of the word semi-breve, because semi is half. And so it's half of a breve. So it kind of helps to describe semi-breve more fully now. So two semi-breves make a breve. It's not really used in modern music. It's not found particularly in Baroque music, classical music, more modern music. It's more of a medieval note, really. However, it is a note. It does exist. And so therefore we need to know about it. But interestingly, for the first time ever, not many years ago, I came across this work by Benjamin Britten, quite a modern composer. It's a choral piece we did. But interestingly, for the first time ever, I see he's used breves here. So the time signature, just out of interest, we can see it's three whole, as it were, whole notes. So if you think of your fractions, that's three semi-breves per bar. We have two semi-breves worth there, and there's one. And then we can see it's changed the time signature, and then we have breves here as well. So it does exist, and so we'll look into it. It's quite interesting, really. And so we need to make sure that the kind of unit of number of beats stays the same. This is in quadruple time, and so this must also be in quadruple time. However, this is in crotchet beats, and this is where these sort of more popular rock time types sort of note names help, because a crotchet is a quarter note, and so that helps us. We're sort of in quarter notes, so we know that that's 4 crotchet beats, whereas we need to be in 4 half notes or 4 minim beats per bar, and that's how we double it. It must stay at 4 beats per bar, otherwise you've changed the meter, as it were, and that will change the sort of the nuance of the timing of the composition. We can't do that. The composer would be very upset. However, we can double by changing the bottom note of the time signature. So before we get bogged down, let's see what it should be. So if we're doubling everything, a minim becomes a semi-breve. Quavers will become crotchets. A crotchet will become a minim. And a semi-breve will become a breve, won't it? And so let's see what we've got. We've got semi-breve, crotchet, crotchet, minim. Now we have, instead of a breve, we've got a semi-breve and a rest. Well, the composer hasn't given us any silence here, but there is here, so that's changing the composition. That's wrong. So we have quaver, which is going to be double dotted. So a quaver, let's just diagram this out, because you know my math starts to fry a little bit here. My maths brain doesn't hold out. So we've got half layer quavers, semi-quavers, demi-semi-quavers. So we have the quaver, which is half of a crochet beat, and then the dot is a quarter, and then the second dot is an eighth, like a demi-semi-quaver. So actually we've got an eighth of a crochet beat left, and so that's false.